Hi everyone, welcome to a poker vlog with a bit of a difference. Poker with kids.
Fuck it, let's go. Don't tease me. Let's play some fucking cards.
Hello again and welcome to vlog number 27. This time, something a bit different for the channel. We've used a variety of different poker chips, both in previous vlogs, and I've also shown you some of my collection of poker chips from different casinos that I've been to around the world. But something a bit different today. I've got an order from Jack's Poker in Sydney, a city poker business, and we're going to do an unboxing. So got some new chips and see what they're like. Now, before we get to the actual unboxing itself, the set I've ordered a set that had a sample set of on a previous order, something that is really useful to do. So let's have a look at the sample set. So this is the sample set. These are the Port Royal chips that they put out relatively recently, and this is the sample set. They've got denominations from 50 cent all the way up to $10,000. But for my order, I've basically ordered a cash set. So what I've done for this set, I've got some 50 cent, $1, $5, 25, and $100 chips. So I've got 5 denominations in the lot that I've ordered. Although 250 might have been useful, really the only time I'm going to need it would be if I ran like a 5-10 limit game or something like that, where you had $2.50, $5 blinds. And I figured otherwise I can, if I'm going to do something like that, I can use the 50 cent and the $1 chip. So although the 250 is there and the blue actually does look like a pretty nice colour, it seems a bit redundant to have all three, the 50 cent, the $1 and the 250 in a set. The other reason that I like this set is that they're very similar to, if you notice these ones, to the chips that found at what used to be my local casino, Crown Casino in Melbourne. So here we have a bunch of chips from Crown Casino. Up the top left is a souvenir Chinese New Year $5, $2.50, $2, and then a whole bunch of $1 chips of various states of age and colour and disrepair and that kind of thing. But some of those things remind me a lot of, in particular, you've got the red of the $5, which is very similar. Just the general things like where you have not only your white inlay, you've got your edge around the outside or whatever your pattern is, plus in this case you've got crown 3 times around the outside of the $2.50 chip, and in this case you've got royal 3 times around the outside of the $25 chip. So that similarity to the crown chips, and again also pretty similar to the Star City chips, which are the old chips from Sydney. And again, very similar, particularly with when you're comparing the reds, albeit that the Star City one looks like a bit of a dirty red colour rather than a bright red like the chips hopefully be. But then you've got your 250s and that type of thing with a lot of similarities with the white inlay. So I thought that'd be a nice set to have. In addition to the Port Royal set that I've ordered, I've also ordered a couple of sample sets of some new chips that Jack's have recently released. So should be a couple of extra little sample sets in there as well. And hopefully they'll also be in their very fancy 500 chip wiper case. So let's see how we go with getting this bad boy undone. squiggle upside down. There's your case complete with the embossed Jack's Poker, the strap. Pretty funky looking case. Let's get the cardboard. And here we are. So we have our Port Royal chips. Got the order. Here are the other sensors to it. Get a deal button, big blind and a small blind button as well. So that's pretty nice. We'll look at those in a second. So this is what it all looks like. I'll get everything out of the wrapper and show you what it all looks like up close. And here we have all the chips all out of the case. So 75 of the 50-cent chips, 150 of the $1, 200 of the $5, 50 of the 25s, and 25 of the 100s. Also comes with a big blind and small blind chip, one of the octagonal ones with a little bit of a different feel to it. Bit of texture on the face of it, standard dealer button, as well as a deck of gold and black cards with a nice jumbo index, a lot better than you get at most casinos in Australia at the very least. So really nice setup. We'll get to the sample set in a minute, and you've got the case. Very nice case. Very lightweight for a case, not the usual heavy kind of aluminium one. So that's the new Port Royal chips. Hopefully we'll get a home game up and running sometime soon when put these chips to use. Okay, we're going to have a look at the chips in a little bit more detail. Bit of a Hobbyphillic style review. If any of you have seen the channel Hobbyphillic, a guy called John Hobby there who does some poker chip reviews. This is something that he won't have, given that they're not really available in America. So these are the chips that I've got. There's your 50 cent. Notice that it's done as a $0.5 rather than 50 cent. Like the consistency in terms of using dollars. However, that is one chip that's maybe a little bit of disappointment, given that when you get up close, you can see the yellow royal clearly with the edge spots, but from a distance, it's a bit faded out, and you can't really sort of make out the royal that's in the outer ring outside the inlay in the center. $1 chip, fantastic. Love the red and white around the sides. You can clearly see the royal name. Love the inlay with the little anchor in the middle. Again, the $5 chip again looks very reminiscent of the Crown Casino or the old Star City Casino in Sydney $5 chips. Like the green on the 25, and again you've got a little bit of a progression in the edge spots. So if you go back here, you've just got top and bottom for your edge spots on the 50. You've got 3 edge spots for your $1. $5 you're going up to 5 edge spots around the outside. Going up to 6 for the 25. And then when you get up to the dollar, you're going to a double 6 with a double edge spot. Again, like the black colour on it, and like the inlay, like the vibrancy of the colours. And material-wise, they feel really good. So really happy with the purchase. So that's the Port Royal Caribbean chipset from Jack's Poker. I think the standard price, you're looking at around 60 or so cents per chip. And they were doing a end of financial year special where I picked up the set in the case for a bit of a discount, but not bad for 60 cents a chip. Feel like they're very good quality, nice solid edge, able to stand on edge, and again, put them all up next to each other, very easily identifiable in terms of colours. So you go from the side, very easy to tell your denominations apart, whether you're looking from the side or obviously from the face. and no real issues. That I'm not going to quite go into the depth that our friend Hobbyphillic does, but nice and flat, really good quality chips. So I reckon these ones will last you quite a while, and hope to get into put them into use in some home games soon. Okay, here we have the first of the sets that I get sample sets of. Luciano's. You notice on the inlays, we get a bit of a close-up. Bit unusual, it's a Havana Cuba as the location. Obviously, it's the $5 chip. And as you can tell by the reflection, that center inlay is actually feels like it's got a bit of a plastic bit over the top of it. So it's a different texture to the actual edge of the chip itself. But good looking design. Like the colours. Don't mind the set. Although, having said that, out of the three, it's not my favourite one. But you will notice some things like, for example, the $5,000 chip here. It reminds me a lot of the 5,000 that you see in the games on Poker Go, the high stakes cash games, the $5,000 chip from the Aria, which I'll put up just in a minute. So interesting that they've kind of taken that comparison with that, and quite a few of the $1 chips that are the blue ones in Las Vegas have that sort of similar look to the one that they've got here for Luciano. But interesting they've gone for Havana Cuba as the location for those ones. Next on my sample set had these ones, the Mercury Macau. Again, interesting location that they've picked a non-Las Vegas location, so good to see a bit of variety here. Macau, like the little the pattern on the inlays. This time being Macau, they've got the dragon. Again, a little bit like the Luciano one. That's it's a plasticky covered sort of inlay. Shiny, smooth. If I can get you can see a reflection there in the light. So it's definitely a smooth inlay there. They've got, I like the, generally speaking, I like the colours, although things like the, I don't know, the 5 and the 25 is sort of a funny looking purpley and a dark green. Aren't really the greatest of colours, but I do like things like the fact that they've got the value of the chip around the outer edge of the chip with the Mercury Macau. And again, you'll notice this set being a Macau one, we don't have the small denominations below $1, and we go up to a $25,000 chip in that set. But again, another pretty nice looking set from Jack's Poker. And the final sample set that I got from Jack's from this order, and what I think is actually the best out of the three, ironically they're actually the cheapest ones. These ones are Artemis Club, and again with the location that you notice, another location you don't often see on poker chips very often, Sydney, AU, Sydney, Australia. One thing you will notice about the centre inlay, this is actually a matte inlay, not shiny like so you don't get the reflection, which personally I think is actually a better thing. Notice also with the inlay, just above the Artemis Club, you've got the Sydney skyline, the Centre Point Tower, things like that, Harbour Bridge, so very much a Sydney chip. Having said that, just having a quick look at them, some of the centre inlays don't look, for example, especially on that, say that $100 chip, doesn't look like the centre inlay is quite in the centre. It really is only slightly out if it's out at all. But also things like some of the colour schemes and variety, especially say for example this $1,000 chip with the diamonds around the edging. It reminds me a lot of the I believe it's the Bellagio tournament set that they use in Las Vegas. So not only have you got a bit of a nod to some of the existing casino sets going around, we also got a bit of a special touch. Not only Sydney on the label, but also the little Sydney skyline decal, something a bit different rather than, for example, the dragon that you had with the Mercury Macau set, and just the plain black with the Luciano have had one. But really nice set from Jax. This one out of the 3 that I got sample sets of, I think is probably the best one. And if I was going to order a set, that'd be the one I get. I get the feeling with the Newport Royal set, I might just have enough cash game sets. If I am ever in the mood for an extra set, especially a cash game set, I think the Artemis Club would be something that I'd very strongly consider. That's going to wrap up vlog number 27. Something a bit different, looking at some poker chip sets, and something we might get into a little bit more in future vlogs, things other than actual hands and hand reviews and that type of thing, but other things related to poker and poker related in general. Again, feel free to give me some feedback. Post a comment down below. If you like the video, thumbs up, and don't forget, if you want more of this type of content, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and I hope to see you in the not too distant future for another vlog. Thanks.